Well, now it's time for the most underreported story of the week. Who would like to go first?
Well, actually, I have two.
Okay.
I don't mean to impinge on anyone's time.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, the floor is mine. Good, thank you. Because I'm a class individual, I'll be brief. Couple things. A graduate student at Princeton University undertook this very interesting study, produces an interesting study involving economics, straight men, and gay men. According to his study, gay black males tend to be discriminated the least in terms of white straight males, black straight males, or gay white males, gay black males. And it's a very interesting study. Black gay males apparently are on par with their white counterparts in terms of salary. Okay, and why, according to his study, is because gay black males are viewed as the least threatening. Okay, therefore, an employer more than likely would give a gay black male a salary in tune to his white counterpart, which is very interesting. Black straight males tend to be the ones who are hurt the most in terms of salary in regards to white counterparts, et cetera, the way they're viewed. Why? Because black straight males, according to his study at Princeton, black straight males are viewed as the most threatening. And so that's an interesting study in terms of sexuality and men, black and white. And another one is uncovered story is a group of guys in New Mexico were out having a bachelor party, and while they were out on the grounds in New Mexico, they discovered a fossil. And the Las Cruces Sun News reported that the fossil is 3 million years old. And they were out having a good time, and one of them saw this tusk sticking out of the ground. And of course, that raised your curiosity. You go investigate, check it out. Oh, we have something here. They alerted the paleontologists from one of the nearby colleges, and the paleontologists discovered that it was a fossil that's 3 million years old. It's called the Stegomastodon fossil.
Wow.
Yes. So that's my two, and
Very interesting.
I'll let it go.
Okay.
I just before I came here, I heard a story on NPR, which I just found fascinating. And if you don't believe in climate change, I think this it really drives the point home. California's drought is now so severe and has been ongoing for so long that they are considering pumping water backwards in their aqueducts. So California pumps water, or lets water flow from the mountains and from the north, where there's lots of water generally, to drier areas. It's a project that is one of the greatest public works projects that the world has ever seen, certainly the United States, amongst the biggest we've had. And that it is so bad that now they're going to pump water backwards uphill to serve these now drought-stricken areas. Just is amazing, and it just shows you that climate change is having a major effect, and we should all be worried about that. Limes are finally back down in price now that the Mexican cartels have settled down, but we're going to see some food price increases if California's in that much trouble.
So the World Cup is underway in Brazil, which is very exciting. I'm a big soccer fan, so I'm happy about that. And last week, a report came out with new allegations about bribes regarding the 2022 Qatar World Cup. But part of the bigger issue, I think, with Qatar is the migrant workers that they're bringing in to construct a bunch of new stadiums. They basically had almost no stadiums ready for the World Cup. So Qatar is a nation of only about 200,000 citizens, and they're bringing in at least 500,000 migrant workers. And Jeremy Schaap of ESPN went there to do a short documentary, and he found that these hundreds of thousands of migrant workers were being really treated like second-class citizens. They arrived in the country from places like Nepal and India, and they were just living in squalor, and they had their contracts ripped up right as they got there. And they're not allowed to leave the country because you have to have your exit visa approved by your employer. And so a conservative estimate from the International Trade Union Confederation showed that they think at least 4,000 migrant workers will die as a result of the poor conditions there.
Whoa.
And there's been hundreds of deaths already.
Whoa.
So at that point, you kind of start to ask yourself, what cost is worth
The World Cup.
What cost
Is the World Cup worth it?
Yeah.
Right.
And
And plus you have
it's-
those protests, right, Jason?
in Brazil, right?
Yeah, people are protesting. What was it, like $11 billion was spent by Brazil to prepare for the World Cup?
Right.
But yet people don't have adequate housing and adequate hospitals. And
Yeah,
all
in
of
Qatar
that.
they're actually spending $200 billion, but
Yeah.
I mean, they have oil money, but then still they're the ones who are
Yeah.
constructing the living conditions for these for the migrant workers. So I'm thinking that they should have the World Cup instead. I think it's shameful that FIFA hasn't at least threatened to investigate that.
It seems it's a
and
very
hold it
real
somewhere else.
possibility
Yeah.
with the other investigations of FIFA corruption and the bribery that may have been involved in the decision for that. So I think we face a very real possibility of them losing the cup.
It also makes you wonder, with the Olympics coming up in 2016 again in Brazil, would the IOC consider taking the Olympics away?
No, I think finally a lot of the infrastructure they started to build for the World Cup will be done by then. So that'll all be said. It's certainly not done now.
That's for
Maybe
sure.
2016.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.